What is one thing you regret doing in life? Story 1. Wasting time worrying about people that never spared me a single thought. Reply. Somebody the other night confronted me about this when I started talking about my ex after a few drinks. Do you think she still puts this much thought into your well-being? No, I don't think she thinks of me at all. Being forced to say it out loud is oddly helpful. Reply 2. Once I thought about how much I remember of my own actions and how little I remember of others' actions in a given setting, I realized everyone, myself included, mostly just think about themselves. So there is no need to overanalyze what I said or did, because everyone else is too busy doing that to themselves so they don't think about mine. Reply 3. I'm thankful that I started really coming to the realization last year around the age of 25 that I don't need to spend any time caring about what people think about me outside of my close friends, family, and myself. It's honestly been one of the most liberating feelings for my anxiety and stress. My friends and family have always been empathetic and supportive of me anyway, so outside of doing some awful or mean things, I won't disappoint them no matter what I do. I could tell them I'm selling everything and living in a shipping container in the middle of Nebraska and they'd just say, "Hell yeah, if you're happy, I'm happy." Story 2. Not ending bad, unhealthy, unfulfilling relationships sooner. Reply. Amen. Not only didn't I end a toxic relationship earlier, I moved to Louisiana for that asshole. I guess it's one or two of those errors that have to be made. Reply 2. Have 2 kids with one of those. Last week, he made me come at his condo so he could explain to me how bad of a mom I was to let my kids use their phone so often. He's very controlling. He ended up yelling at me for a good 15 minutes trying to convince me how wrong I was before I left. He also already tried to tell me not to spread butter and peanut butter on my toasts in the morning because the kids would do this and become automatically obese. He's very into sport and fitness, so obesity is his phobia. Not that it's a concern, we have very good genetics. Oh, we've separated 9 years ago. It's not a novelty. Reply 3. Same here. Instead of ending it, I let it go on for another 4 years knowing this person was a liar and a cheater. 11 years altogether, and sometimes I feel like I wasted my entire 20s with this person, but I wouldn't be the person I am now if I didn't go through it all. Story 3. I regret making friends with people who I knew were bad for me just because it was easier than becoming friends with good people. Now I don't have many solid friends. Reply. Yeah. It was easier being friends with people who used and abused me than being friends with people who were genuine for some reason. Must have been the influence of the narcissist. The typical, I need you to need me so that I can function. Ah, silly me in her early 20s. I now have one friend. It's my husband. Best person to ever have existed. Genuine, ultimate best friend. Also good deck. Reply 2. Tell him I said nice deck, homie. Story 4. Not putting myself out there enough. I probably missed out on a lot of opportunities because I'm so self-conscious. Working on this though. Reply. I'm super confident now, to the point my old self is completely unrecognizable, but unfortunately I feel like I'm late to the party. However, I will say better late than never, and I don't regret for a minute putting the effort in. I only wish I did it earlier. Keep at it, and good luck on this journey. Reply 2. You're not alone. I am in my 30s and it was 5 years ago I realized my friends are moving on with their lives, my body is changing, and I am going to die one day, and the people who I listened to too much will die, and I will have to live with the decisions I made. I got a skill and got confident. But overall something flipped in my brain when I got good at something and had a way to make a living. Still a slog some days with my brain and unlearning 20 plus years of negative thinking, being too chill with things. It does feel late. But you know what it is for some things. But I try to pass it on to the younger people so they don't waste their time. Plus there's still a bit of living left to do. Rambling a bit. Good luck to you and anyone else who reads this. Don't stop trying. Story 5. Overthinking my way out of potentially rewarding choices. Reply. I've done this so many times for jobs that have been offered to me on a silver platter with higher pay and better position than my current role. I am afraid of change. I also worry that I won't do the job well and will be caught out. Sometimes I think I'm an idiot, other times I think why do the extra work for higher pay just because society tells you to. Story 6. Letting myself gain back weight. Reply. This hurts so bad. I had been overweight my entire life up until I was 23 in 2013. Then I finally started dieting and exercising and lost 50 pounds. Swore I'd never get that big again and managed to keep the weight off until the end of 2020 when I got a new job and started working from home. Slowly started gaining it all back and then some and didn't do anything about it. I'm just now slowly starting to lose it, but it's so hard. I wish I had nipped it at the bud when I started to gaining again. Reply 2. Dude, that sounds almost like my case. I got in really good shape in 2013 when I was 23 after being overweight most of my life. But then I went through a really bad heartbreak and gained it all back, which hurts seeing all that work go to waste. But I've been hitting the gym recently as well. We can get back to our age 23 weights, I believe in us. Story 7. Smoking. Reply. Smoking marijuana at a young age, 15, only stopping now, 29, and I feel like I fucked with my brain. I have a complicated job and have such horrible brain fog even when I wasn't smoking. It's been 3 days since my last joint, wish me luck. Reply 2. It gets so much better. Started daily at 15 sporadically. Turned to daily at 18 a.m. 30 now. I quit 45 days ago, and I legitimately feel like Superman compared to 45 days ago. I remember things my wife asks me to do without constant reminders. I get my task list done. And my boss even told me he's noticed that I'm much sharper at work. I've also quit drinking to avoid a drunken slip-up. Holler if you want to talk at all. Story 8. So, this is gonna sound kinda dumb, but I kinda wish I had acted out a bit more. Taken more risks, gotten in trouble more, explored and pushed my boundaries. I was pretty sheltered growing up and really wanted to be this good person. It created a lot of conflicting feelings for me. It also contributed to me avoiding doing some stuff cause I thought it'd be bad for me. Now that I'm older and worked through some of those issues, I feel like I missed out on a lot of stuff other people got in their teens and 20s. I'm now at a point where I'm exploring that, but most people my age have already gone through it. I just feel like I'm trying to catch up with everybody. Reply. If it's any consolation, there's plenty of us that feel the opposite. I started my rebellion when I was about 12, and by the time my 20s came around, I was so checked out. And I've spent my 20s feeling like I'm so boring because I just partied myself out. I wrecked myself mentally and physically. Since I was so young, my body felt like it had a greater capacity for things. I could do whatever I want to it and bounce back so fast. But, being so young, also meant I had no sense of control and it got out of hand. Now I'm 27 and my body is more like that of a 40-year-old's at the youngest. I struggle so hard in college because I didn't pay attention in school and I gave myself permanent brain damage with all the garbage I put into my body. And I've had to tiptoe through life because I'm at that age where people expect you to do stuff like casually drink or something and I cannot. I cannot have a single sip or everything I've worked for is out the window. I'm getting married in a year and trying to tell people that there will be absolutely no alcohol and not a lot of partying has been so frustrating. All the why I get makes me want to send out separate invite detail things in the mail that just say, no alcohol, I'm an alcoholic, that's why. Not to mention, I killed my mom. Not like physically, but she had her first heart attack when I was 13 and then she spent the next 5 years fighting me. I kept her stress level so high she was constantly in and out of the hospital. By the time I calmed down, she'd already had another heart attack, a stroke, a defibrillator put in, aged 1,000,000 years, was on oxygen, could never keep her blood sugar or blood pressure down, had CHF, and was honestly too tired and unwell to really take care of my little sister, so she wound up more like you, sheltered. No one knows where she is because she dropped out of school at 18 and ran away in her attempt to be rebellious. Luckily, Mom was in a nursing home and lost her mind before she had to know that her youngest daughter was essentially missing and died soon after she left. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Reply 2. Dude. I'm so sorry about your mom. While all of that happened, and I'm not trying to sound like I'm invalidating that and your lived experience, I do hope someday, if you haven't already, you can forgive yourself. Growth comes with empathy, comes with guilt. But don't lose yourself over it and all the past things already gone. I wish peace for you. Also, your wedding is your wedding. If you want it a certain way, then that's the way it should be. Story 9. Being too nice to tell undeserving people to fuck off when I should have been putting myself first. Lessons learned. Story 10. I have many. What age range are we talking here? Under 18, teen years. Wasting money, not reading more, and not trying in school. 20s. Wasting money, how I treated a lot of people in my life at the time, and gaining a significant amount of weight, I've since lost but still. 30s. Mostly I could have been a better partner to my now wife. Here's hoping my 40s are much better. Reply. Less commas each decade, so you're on the right track. Hey! You're awesome. Subscribe.